Okay, great. Let me have it get me all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so this is our check-in for January. We want to see how you're doing and get you prepared with any information that you need, especially as we're jumping right into cookies. So we're still looking for a Kauai and Maui coordinator, but otherwise you can see here, this is our contact information where you can always reach out to us for questions. So we're going to have a quick agenda today, just going over cookies and a few program activities. So just a reminder, all your advisor responsibilities, and this month is when you're going to be diving into those cookie responsibilities during January, and especially full on in February as cookies come to the island and we start distributing them to the girls. So as always, have your time cards due on Sundays. I'm always want to provide the hyperlink here for an easy access to it. Please do add your time for the meeting we are doing right now, as well as if you haven't already for December, or if you haven't done any of the other months in October or November, we have our monthly report link. This is very important so we can just keep track of what everyone's doing for archival purposes and also grant reporting purposes. Okay, troop meetings. So we're starting this week and next week. It's going to be the first part of our cookie badge. Here are the pictures here. This is where attendance is very important because we want to make sure we get the right amount of badges to you. And always make sure you're giving us those membership forms of any new girls you have. So cookie badge, to have a multi-level troop experience, I've made the main things you want to put together for your troop meeting when you're having different groups of one, whether it's one meeting or if you're having two separate meetings with 2 levels per meeting. For planning and making it easier, you can choose activities that are useful and fun for all different ages of girls. So the main objectives we can do is create a goal tracker activity. So have girls decide how many cookies they want to sell, or for girls who don't participate in cookies, they can pick something else to pretend or what they want to save up to, like a new Nintendo game, for example. I have a link here to what our cookie provider, Little Brownie Baker, provided for this cookie season is the cookie mascot, the Ocelotl goal tracker. It's a printout, so that's a quick and fun way to especially give out to girls who know they want to sell cookies. Next thing is you want to do a practice cookie booth, and that includes cash handling, cookie product knowledge, and customer role playing. I have a hyperlink here of little skits and scenarios that you can ask the girl when this happens, what would you do? And you can also assign roles to different girls as you pretend with the cookie booth and cash handling at the same time. So one example would be a customer with dietary restrictions. You would encourage the girls to learn about Thin Mints that are dairy-free and Toffee Taxes that are gluten-free. Next thing is you want to promote our cooking business, teach girls how to get the word out there to their friends and family and their school. So we could be making flyer and posters, booth decorations, and working on cookie pitching. And as I said in our past trainings, feel free to go to our cookie Pinterest board and you'll find more activities there that meet these basic things and different things that you can decide to do. Okay, GS events, we just finished Cookie University over the weekend. Thank you so much for everyone who was able to help out and have a successful one, especially Raina, who ran the whole thing that's with us on our meeting today. Now we are gonna focus on our cookie camp, not cookie, sorry. Cookie too much in my brain. We have our camps, so STEM Camp and STEM Fest. STEM Fest was in November. So we would have STEM camps coming up and other journey camps that will be in the future of this year. So I will be putting out Google Forms. I always encourage to have Google Forms set up and given to the parents instead of having them register for themselves, because this way I can track for grant purposes what parents are attending. Okay, so information for event deadlines. So the rule of thumb typically is 4 weeks before the event is when we have a deadline to close registration and get this list out to start buying supplies for when we have it at our Girl Scout camps, or when we're using partnered sites such as our universities. They usually have our deadline for us to submit their roster and number of people attending. So be mindful of that deadline. Be sure you're sharing that with their families, especially when it's getting close to the deadline. That's when the parents are actually going to start rushing to sign up usually. So try and encourage throughout that time as soon as we put it out. So that's kind of the main thing, pretty short and sweet this January because we're about to jump into cookies with Raina. So before we jump in with Raina here, do we have any questions? Let me know how I can support you. What are some needs that you have? Especially for the neighbor island ladies. Nothing so far? Okay. We'll have Raina jump in. If there's anything that comes to your mind, please send me an email. And I can get to you as soon as I can as we start supporting, especially Kauai and Maui, while we wait for an island coordinator.
Sam has a question. If she has girls that have already received the badges, do they receive it again?
Like from a cookie event or just from their own? Because we didn't do this last year. It may have been the year before. So
Yeah.
girls should have already leveled up to not receive this badge. And it's not uncommon for some girls to receive a second one if they happen to have one from a previous year.
Oh, okay.
But for the most part, everyone should have aged out and should not have received this badge from participating in the ASLP program at least.
All right, thank you. Alrighty, so going into cookies, today is Cookie Go Day. So it's a really exciting day for Girl Scouts to share with their family, friends, and relatives about their cookie businesses. So it's just getting excited for cookies before they arrive on island. So this period right now is our pre-sale period. So back in November, December, you took some trainings, you met with your Girl Scouts to set their goals and figure out what you all, how high they want to go with their cookie selling goals. So today is January 8th when the cookie sales begin. And then in February, we'll have all of our cookie delivery days. So Tuesday, the 20th are for Maui and Kauai, the 21st if you're on Kona side, and the 22nd if you're on Hilo side. For Oahu ASLP girls, our delivery day for them is February 24th. And then February 23rd through the 31st is cookie booth sales. So you'll see cookie booths all around your islands, and Girl Scouts, getting really excited, talking to customers, and really enhancing their entrepreneurial skills. And then the cookie season wraps up around the 31st. And then in April, we want to make sure that all Girl Scouts are reconciled with what they owe. We want to make sure that, there's nothing owed from any booths and things like that. And then in the springtime, we'll get all of the rewards to distribute out to Girl Scouts, hopefully before school closes out for the summer. Okay, you can go to the next slide. In general, for families, you do want to make sure that you're distributing and collecting the cookie permission forms that were shared out alongside the annual health permission form. This will help to just make sure that Girl Scouts and their families are on the same page about their responsibilities participating in the cookie program. And then in December, we had a family cookie program overview, which was recorded. It's about 45 minutes long, goes over what the cookie program is all about, how to use digital cookies. So things like setting it up, approving orders, really walking through that process with them. So this is a really helpful recording if you have any kind of chat that you're sharing out information with your families, that you may want to share out with them in case you're not having a chance to meet with them regarding cookie program. All right, and next. So this is hopefully not too extensive, but just touching on the most important things right now as an advisor. So the first thing is checking for eBuddy access. If you don't have eBuddy access yet, haven't gotten a chance to log in, or never saw an email from eBuddy, please let us know at cookies@gshawaii.org. That way we can get you access right away. So it's possible you're in the system, but your registration link expired, or we hadn't put you in the system yet. Either way, I want to make sure that you have access as we're early on in the cookie season. Once you're in eBuddy, as we went over in the training, you want to check for any inactive or missing Girl Scouts in your troop under that girl tab. If there's any missing girls, or you need anyone or if you need someone taken out of your troop, please also reach out to us and we can fix those rosters for you in eBuddy. Make sure all of your Girl Scouts have cookie selling materials. So that'll include the girl order card, money envelope, and then any printables. So that includes the digital cookie one-pager, campaigns, flyer, and Own Your Magic worksheet. At this point, because we don't have Kauai and Maui neighbor island coordinators, we want to make sure that you can get those materials if you're not close by the office, so that we can always mail it out to you. So just let us know, and we can send that out to you ASAP. That way Girl Scouts have those materials. We can work on it this week, and then we can send it out to you, and it can be sent to you by next week. And then finally, you want to check for Girl Scouts access to digital cookie. The registration link expires after 3 days. So if they were already registered for the membership year by mid-December, they would have received the registration link. But if they never clicked on it, then that link has expired. So we can always resend them that registration link. So if you have the list of the Girl Scouts who never received that email, just let us know and we can send that, we can resend those to each of the families. And then if you're not receiving cookie bites, let us know as well. It does always include important information about what's happening during the cookie season. So I want to make sure that you're all in the know as we're progressing this cookie season. Any questions about those checklist items? Nope. Okay. Perfect. You can go next. So some important upcoming dates. January 16th is when the booth slots open to all troops. I know the different neighbor islands have done scheduling booths differently in the past. I'm actually planning to reach out to each of you to schedule a quick 15-20 minute conversation just to make sure we're on the same page about how you want to place your initial order. And then at that time, we can also set up the booth slots that you want for your troop. So we're really going to make sure that the booths that we sign you up for work for your schedule. So we want to make sure that everyone has a minimum of one booth per site or / troop. So for our Kauai, Maui, and Oahu advisors, I'll be sending out an email to all of you to schedule some time this week into next week so that we can get you scheduled in a booth for your troop, as well as finalizing some details on your initial order. Then on January 26th, delivery day slots open up. For Neighbor Islands, we ask that you actually secure your own delivery day slot if you're picking up cookies for your Girl Scouts. So that will open up at 6 p.m. Neighbor Islands, it's not too fast and furious, so you can get in there when you need, and there should be a slot available for you for a time that works best for you. If you need to, for whatever reason, pick up cookies on a different day, just make sure you have that in mind as we go into our January conversations in talking about initial orders. Because where you want to pick up your cookies does matter. It makes a difference where we place your order, depending on at the delivery day location or otherwise. And then for Oahu, all Girl Scouts will be picking up their own cookie orders. So we'll be sending out a separate form to those families, and their pickup will be on Saturday, February 24th. And then for Oahu ASLP advisors, you'll always be picking up your booth cookies before your booth day. Same thing could go for Neighbor Island ASLP advisors, but we'll talk about that as we get closer. Just given the absence of Maui and Kauai Neighbor Island coordinators, we do want to make sure you can have access to the office for the buffer cookies, but just in case, we want to make sure you have some cookies on hand. Any questions about dates?
Jackie has a question. Go ahead and unmute,
Oh, yeah.
Jackie.
So did I hear right that the girls pick up their own cookie orders?
On Oahu, yes.
Really?
They do
Yeah.
have the option to pick them up themselves. If you're willing to collect all the orders one time and you want to pick up for them, that is an option for advisors to do, especially for girls who have transportation barriers but want to participate in cookies.
Yeah.
But
Yep,
always,
that's totally fine too.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
always
Okay. I was like,
encourage
oh
parents to
my
pick it
God.
up.
Yeah, I'll be getting phone calls
Yeah.
saying these girls didn't pick up their cookies and whatnot. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
and throughout the season, Mia also helps to bring cookies to her sites that she's coordinating for, and then same with you. If you'd like to come pick up cookies from the buffer for any extra girl delivery orders, once we're open, you're more than welcome to do that too. It's all really site dependent, what works best for your Girl Scouts and their families.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
Yeah,
was gonna
yeah, like we have
like,
our
oh
one
gosh.
Kahuku advisor who will always do the drives for her girls.
Oh yeah, I can't see. Yeah, so many people going back and forth.
Yeah.
Where is the pickup location? Still going to be at the stadium, or is it going to be someplace else?
The stadium you're thinking about, so we do have to keep Oahu orders all together for ASLP troops. So that'll be going to the buffer for that Saturday pickup. So that location is still TBD. We're still working on securing that location, but it'll be somewhere close in town, close by our office.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, good question.
Traditional troops will be at the stadium for that cookie day.
Yep. Any other questions? Sorry, no, we're talking about a few different groups that are, cookies are structured slightly differently. But whatever questions you do have, please come prepared with them when we have our conversations over the next few weeks. Alrighty, perfect. You can go next. So important reminders for families. So as you're sharing out information to families, include that family cookie program overview that we showed you earlier. It's linked to our cookies YouTube page. And then just in general, Girl Scouts can continue cookie orders after initial orders have been submitted. So even though they've submitted their initial order, they can still keep their customers, family, friends excited about cookies arriving soon. And then on their paper order cards, just make sure that Girl Scouts are collecting the money only after cookies are delivered to the customer. We don't want Girl Scouts to collect the cookies and then promise that cookies will be here and then something happens. So we want to make sure that that's super clear to families before, orders are being taken. Parents can submit initial orders in digital cookie under the My Cookies tab this year. There's a tip sheet and a YouTube, and a video on how families can do that. So if that's easier for your families to input that information under the My Cookies tab in digital cookie, I recommend they do that instead of you trying to collect all different pictures and whatever of the paper order cards, but just whatever works best for your families. For digital cookie side, girl delivery and shipped are options during initial order. And then those are also still options once cookies are in hand. And then once the Girl Scouts actually have the cookies in their possession, they'll be able to process digital cookie orders as an in hand as well to process credit cards through digital cookie. And then we always set up ASLP troop links in digital cookie, but that won't be available until after the initial orders have been submitted. So that's just helping to make sure that Girl Scouts digital cookie pages are prioritized first, and then the troop links will get set up. I think Mia might have got kicked off for her power, maybe. I have the slide. I can share it. Oh, there you are. You're on mute.
Sorry, my internet cut out with the weather.
I think she's still frozen. I can share my screen if that's all right with you all, just to keep us moving. Okay. Yeah, so any questions about these reminders for families? All right. And then just to reiterate some of what we talked about during the trainings as well, is just making sure we're helping Girl Scouts, of course, setting up their digital cookie pages, but also helping them to prioritize processing orders through digital cookie so that we're eliminating all of that cash handling. Because I know Girl Scouts are traveling from school to troop meeting and, their parents or caregivers might not be there to help with the cash handling. So we just want to make sure that we can help them get set up with digital cookie, which is also helping them with their, digital literacy and being able to navigate an app like digital cookie. Sorry, Mia, I want to go ahead to share my screen since I had it.
That's perfect. Thank you.
And then some advisor resources, both for you all as advisors, as well as for families that you can share out. But the first one is the Volunteer Cookie Manager Manual. A lot of it will apply to you all since you're doing things like initial order submissions, hosting cookie booths with your troop, making money deposits into our bank accounts, things like that. So please do review that if you haven't already. We want to make sure that you're aware of all of our policies and processes during this cookie season. We also have our sponsored programs guide. This you can share out with parents and caregivers. So it gives a high-level overview of the cookie program and their responsibilities as caregivers to their Girl Scouts. We have lots of digital cookie tip sheets. So it includes setting up your digital cookie page, what your My Cookies tab looks like, approving orders, things like that. That's under our cookie program resources section on gshawaii.org. And then there's all those different subsections. And so the tip sheets are under the virtual cookie selling subsection. So you can always share out those tip sheets with families. Another helpful resource for families could be our YouTube playlist. So right now it includes a lot of the digital cookie videos. So it's the same version of the tip sheets, just in video form. So walking them through how to set up digital cookie and all the same things, just in video format. So that could be a really helpful thing to share out with everyone right now as they're getting familiar with the cookie program or getting back into it if they're returning. Cookie Bites e-newsletter blog. So all of these kind of blue highlighted are linkable. But this is our blog where we post all of our Cookie Bites newsletters. So now, starting in January, all of our Cookie Bites are weekly on a Tuesday. Usually we send it out no later than 5 p.m. So again, if you're not getting the Cookie Bites newsletters, please let us know because we'll have to do some investigation, figure out why you're not getting them. But I do want to make sure that you're receiving them every week now, because again, we include a lot of important information on what's happening. And then we also have our virtual office hours. So that's either with myself or Brianne, our product marketing coordinator, just around any of the questions cookie related that you have. We want to open it up to ASLP families as well. Maybe they have a lot of questions that some of which you don't know the answer to. So you can always direct them either to our cookies@gshawaii.org email or virtual office hours. We want to be a resource to anyone who needs it. And we're here generally to support you whenever you need. So hopefully you all should have my direct email. It's rnarita@gshawaii.org or our cookies@gshawaii.org general cookies email. So either is fine to reach out to. I do the direct contact to you all through my my personal work email. But the cookies email works just fine. I have eyes on it. Brianne supports with it as well. So feel free to reach out anytime. Any final questions before we move forward? Alrighty. Okay, May, I think this is you.
Okay, so this is just a quick link. As a reminder, all the forms you need from your parents, your family's annual health and permission form. GSH emergency card is something you keep on you during troop meetings. And then cookie permission form is what is needed to participate in cookies, specifically for Oahu. Okay, that should be everything. We are recording it and can upload it in the following day onto our YouTube page, and I'll get that out. Otherwise, I will also attach an email. If you don't see it in the chat, we did provide the slides of the PDF for people who came a little late. Any questions before we wrap up? Go ahead and unmute yourself, Jackie.
So the GSH emergency card. Tell me about that.
Oh, I'll share that when you get the slides, you can get the link here, but it's basically just a what to do in an emergency.
Oh, okay. Just a
so
little.
I can get that to you. Right.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly that little.
Okay. I may have had that a long time ago. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Oh, yes, Jackie, can you tell everyone really quick, how long have you been a Girl Scout volunteer?
Let's see. My daughter is 35. So she started Girl Scouts when she was 7. So I guess about 28 years.
Wow, 28 years. All right, Jackie's our Pololo advisor, a lifetime member. Thank you so
And
much for coming on, Jackie, and everyone else. If you have any questions, email me and I can get back to you as much as I can. And then I'll set you up with this meeting details. And we'll try and touch base next month as we get into the heavy part of cookie booth preparations and receiving the cookies. Okay, have a great night, everyone.